You mean to tell me that humans evolved on that? First Officer Zixtal squinted through the observation viewport at the blue-green marble hanging in space, his antenna twitching with disbelief. According to our scans, yes, replied Science Officer Krim, her crystalline appendages clicking as she manipulated the holographic display. A planet with surface gravity of 9.8 meters per second squared, nearly twice what we consider habitable. Impossible. Nothing intelligent could develop under such crushing forces. The energy requirements alone would— And yet, Krim interrupted, there they are, broadcasting their existence across the electromagnetic spectrum, launching primitive spacecraft, and generally making a mess of their solar system. The data is quite clear. Captain Vrel, who had been silently observing the exchange from her command pod, finally spoke. Whether we believe it or not is irrelevant. High Command has designated this system for immediate integration into the collective. The humans' unusual biology makes them potentially valuable assets, if they can be properly subjugated. With all due respect, Captain, Zixtal began, how exactly are we supposed to conduct a ground invasion on a death world? Our troops would be practically immobile under that gravity. That's why High Command has provided us with these. The captain gestured to a row of massive mechanical exoskeletons lining the cargo bay. Latest generation gravity compensation suits. They should allow our forces to operate normally despite the extreme conditions. Should? Krim's crystalline form sparkled with skepticism. They've been extensively tested in simulations, Vrel assured them, though her own antennae betrayed a hint of uncertainty. When do we begin? Zixtal asked, already dreading the answer. Immediately. Launch the first wave. Technical Sergeant Michael Rodriguez watched the unusual meteor shower with professional interest. Except these weren't meteors. They were moving far too precisely, decelerating as they entered the atmosphere. He'd been in the Air Force long enough to know the difference between natural phenomena and something decidedly unnatural. Command, this is Lookout Actual. We've got multiple bogies entering atmosphere over the Pacific. Trajectory suggests they'll make landfall somewhere in Northern California. Request instructions over. The response was immediate. Lookout Actual. Maintain observation and report any changes. Forces are being mobilized. Do not engage unless directly threatened. Copy that, Rodriguez replied, though he couldn't help but smile as he watched the alien ship's descent paths begin to wobble. Something tells me we might not need to engage at all. The invasion force's landing was less than graceful. Despite their advanced technology, the aliens clearly hadn't fully accounted for Earth's gravity. Their ships, designed for worlds with far less mass, struggled with the increased forces. What should have been precise tactical insertions instead resembled a cluster of drunken seagulls trying to land in a hurricane. Rodriguez watched through his binoculars as the first vessel touched down, or rather crashed, in a clearing about 2 miles from his observation post. The impact left a decent-sized crater, but the ship appeared mostly intact. After a few minutes, a hatch opened, and something emerged. "You have got to be kidding me," he muttered, adjusting the focus on his optics. The alien was wearing what looked like a cross between a spacesuit and a mobile construction crane. Massive hydraulic limbs whirred and hissed as it took its first step on Earth, and immediately face-planted into the dirt. Command, be advised, we have boots on the ground. Well, face on the ground, technically. These guys do not seem to be handling our gravity very well. Trooper Nix cursed in 3 different languages as he struggled to right himself. The gravity compensation suit was supposed to make this manageable, but everything felt wrong. Even with the mechanical assistance, each movement required immense effort. The crushing weight of this forsaken planet made even breathing a challenge. "Status report," came Captain Vrel's voice over the comm. "How are conditions on the surface?" "Heavy," Nix grunted, finally managing to get upright. "Very, very heavy. The suits are helping, but coordination is difficult. It's like trying to swim through solid rock. Maintain position and establish a landing zone. The main force will deploy once you've secured the area." "Understood," Nix replied, though he was already questioning the feasibility of this mission. He took another ponderous step, the suit's joints creaking under the strain. "At least the locals haven't noticed us yet." A small stone bounced off his helmet with a ping. Nix turned, slowly, awkwardly, to find a small human child standing at the edge of the clearing, another rock ready in hand. "Hey, robot alien!" the child called out. "You look funny when you walk." Nix raised his weapon, but the targeting systems couldn't compensate for his shaking arms. The crushing gravity made fine motor control nearly impossible. The child threw another rock. Ping. "Missed me." "So let me get this straight," General Thompson said, pinching the bridge of her nose. "The aliens' entire invasion force is essentially trapped by our gravity?" Yes, ma'am, Rodriguez replied, trying to keep a straight face as he delivered his report. They've got some kind of powered armor that lets them move, but barely. It's like watching toddlers try to run underwater while wearing snowsuits. Really expensive, high-tech snowsuits. And the child with the rocks? Tommy Martinez, age 8. His parents run the local convenience store. He, has reportedly started charging other kids admission to watch the aliens try to catch him. The general looked down at the stack of reports on her desk, each one describing similar scenes playing out wherever the aliens had attempted to land. Their advanced technology was impressive, but it had been developed for worlds with far less gravitational pull. On Earth, they were literally being brought down by their own weight. Have they made any aggressive moves? No, ma'am. They've mostly been trying to figure out how to stand up without tipping over. A few attempted to fire their weapons, but the recoil knocked them off balance. One group tried to set up some kind of energy cannon, but they couldn't lift it off the ground. Thompson leaned back in her chair, a smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. So what you're telling me is that humanity's first alien invasion is being thwarted by basic physics? Yes, ma'am. Though the local kids with water balloons aren't helping their morale much either. Captain Vrel stared at the holographic display in disbelief as more and more red indicators appeared, marking failed landing attempts and incapacitated troops. The humans weren't even fighting back. They didn't need to. The planet itself was defeating her entire invasion force. Status report, she demanded. Krim's crystalline form flickered with embarrassment. 17% of our forces have suffered mechanical failures in their gravity compensation suits. 43% are stuck in various, compromising positions. The rest are technically operational but effectively combat ineffective. And the humans? They appear to be... Krim hesitated. They're taking videos, Captain, and posting them on something called TikTok. We've become what they call a viral sensation. Zixtal's antennae drooped. I've monitored some of their communications. They're not even considering us a threat. They're treating this like entertainment. A new alert flashed on the display, a transmission from High Command. Vrel opened it with a sense of dread. The message was brief. Mission aborted. Return to base. Also, please stop providing humans with social media content. This is becoming embarrassing. 6 months later. And in international news, the United Earth Council has officially declined membership in the Galactic Collective, citing irreconcilable differences in environmental preferences. However, Earth has agreed to establish a series of orbital trading posts to facilitate commerce with alien species who find our gravity challenging. In related news, the viral sensation Aliens vs. Gravity has been nominated for several entertainment awards. Rodriguez turned off the news feed and looked out his office window at the newly constructed Xenological Research Center. After the failed invasion, he'd been reassigned to help study alien technology, particularly their gravity compensation suits. The ironies of life never ceased to amaze him. A knock at his door interrupted his contemplation. "Come in!" Dr. Patel, the center's lead physicist, burst into the office with her usual enthusiasm. "You have to see this. Remember how we couldn't figure out why the aliens' suits failed so spectacularly? Yeah? They made a fundamental error in their calculations. They assumed gravity was a constant across all worlds, just with different magnitudes. They didn't account for how it interacts with mass at a quantum level. Their whole compensation system was based on flawed physics." Rodriguez laughed. "So you're telling me that a spacefaring civilization capable of interstellar travel got basic gravity wrong?" "Exactly. They developed their technology on low-gravity worlds and just never questioned their assumptions. It's actually quite fascinating from a scientific perspective. And hilarious from every other perspective," Rodriguez added. "Have you told Tommy? He'll love this. The rock-throwing kid? He's actually the one who gave me the idea to check the quantum interactions. He asked why the aliens' legs didn't work right, even though their arms could move better. And it got me thinking about mass distribution and..." She launched into a detailed explanation that Rodriguez only partially followed. He smiled, remembering the child's simple observation during the invasion. "They walk funny because they don't know how heavy they are." Out of the mouths of babes. On a distant world with 1/3 of Earth's gravity, Captain Vrel stood before the Collective's High Council, delivering her final report on the failed invasion of Sol 3. "In conclusion," she said, her antenna properly rigid with formal dignity, "I recommend classifying Earth as a heavy gravity preserve, unsuitable for standard colonization." However, I also suggest establishing diplomatic and trade relations. The humans' natural adaptation to such extreme conditions makes them uniquely valuable as potential allies. And the social media incident? One council member asked. Vrel's antennae twitched slightly. The humans have agreed to restrict sharing of certain compromising footage in exchange for technological trade agreements. They can be quite reasonable when not throwing rocks or water balloons at our troops. Very well. The council will take your recommendations under advisement. Though we must ask, is it true that they're using the incident to create something called a movie? Yes, Vrel admitted. I'm told I'll be played by someone named Meryl Streep, whoever that is. The council chamber filled with the crystalline sound of alien laughter, and Vrel allowed her own antennae to relax. Sometimes, she reflected, the greatest victories come not from conquest, but from learning to laugh at oneself, even if that laughter has to fight against crushing gravity to escape. You want me to what? Rodriguez stared at the official document on his desk, wondering if Earth's gravity had finally affected his reading comprehension. We need you to serve as Earth's gravity consultant for the new Galactic Trade Commission, General Thompson repeated, looking far too amused for a military briefing. You're our foremost expert on alien gravitational adaptation issues. I watch them fall down a lot. That hardly makes me an expert. You also helped develop the modified gravity compensation technology that's allowing our new trading partners to actually conduct business without face-planting. Plus, Tommy Martinez speaks very highly of you. Rodriguez groaned. The kid's running anti-gravity workshops for alien tourists now. He's charging them 50 credits per session to learn how to walk in Earth gravity. And making more money than both of us combined, Thompson added. The point is, you understand both the technical and practical aspects of our unique situation. The Galactic Trade Commission's orbital facility was a marvel of engineering and compromise. Different sections were maintained at varying gravity levels, allowing species from across the galaxy to interact comfortably. Rodriguez's office, naturally, was in the Earth Normal section, which most aliens referred to as the Crusher. His first appointment of the day was with a delegation from the Silicon Collective, crystalline beings who typically existed in 0.3G environments. They had developed a new line of gravity compensation suits and wanted Earth's approval for commercial use. As you can see, the lead engineer's translator chirped, we've completely redesigned the quantum stabilization matrix based on Dr. Patel's research. Rodriguez watched as their test subject demonstrated the suit's capabilities in the testing chamber. The movements were smooth, almost natural, a far cry from the awkward stumbling of the invasion force. Impressive, he admitted, but what happens if the power fails? The engineer's crystalline structure flickered with pride. Observe. The suit powered down, but instead of collapsing, it gradually lowered its occupant to a safe sitting position. Emergency protocols engage automatically, the engineer explained. No more viral videos of our people toppling like poorly stacked minerals. Tommy will be disappointed. He's been collecting those clips. Meanwhile, in what had become known as Little Earth, a full-gravity training facility on the Collective's homeworld, First Officer Zixtal found himself in an unusual position. Teaching. The key, he explained to a group of eager young xenologists, is understanding that humans don't defy gravity. They've evolved to work with it. Their entire biology is a testament to adaptation. But how do they move so easily? One student asked, their antennae vibrating with curiosity. Even with our best technology, we can barely manage their gravity. Zixtal activated a holographic display showing human musculoskeletal structure. They're built for it, literally from the ground up. Their bones are incredibly dense by our standards, their muscles are compact power generators, and their cardiovascular system. He paused, still amazed by the efficiency of human biology. Well, let's just say there's a reason they can run for hours while we get winded walking to the food synthesizer. Is it true that human children throw rocks for entertainment? Another student asked. Ah, yes. The infamous Tommy Martinez incident. Zixtal's antennae drooped slightly at the memory, though I should note that he's now a respected consultant on human-alien relations. He's even developing a line of gravity-adapted toys for interspecies recreation. Back on Earth, Dr. Patel was presenting her latest research to an international conference on xenophysics. The audience was a mix of human scientists and alien observers, attending via gravity-adjusted robotic proxies. The breakthrough came when we stopped trying to fight Earth's gravity and started working with it, she explained, gesturing to her slides. The aliens' original technology tried to create a bubble of their native gravity within ours, an inherently unstable configuration. Our new approach instead focuses on redistributing gravitational load across engineered metamaterials. A holographic hand raised from one of the alien observers. But doesn't this mean we'll always be at a disadvantage on Earth? Not necessarily, Patel replied. Think of it like swimming. Humans aren't naturally aquatic, but we've learned to move efficiently in water. Similarly, with the right technology and training, other species can adapt to our gravity. It's just a matter of approach. And the water balloons? Another observer asked. We've heard stories. Patel tried not to smile. I'm afraid those are classified under the Earth Collective Cultural Exchange Treaty of 2025, Section 7, Paragraph 3, Matters of Mutual Embarrassment. In orbit above Earth, Captain Vrel, now Ambassador Vrel, watched a group of alien tourists excitedly preparing for their first surface excursion. Their gravity compensation suits were sleek, efficient, and thoroughly tested. No more embarrassing mechanical failures or viral videos. Ready for your first Earth experience? She asked the group. A young crystalline being vibrated nervously. Is it true what they say about human children? Tommy Martinez retired from rock throwing, Vrel assured them. He's focusing on his consulting business now, though I should warn you about his younger sister. The tourist group exchanged worried glances. I'm kidding, Vrel said, her antennae twitching with amusement. Mostly. Just remember your training, keep your gravity compensation systems maintained, and try to enjoy yourself. Earth may be heavy, but its people have a certain lightness of spirit. As if to prove her point, a message flashed across her communications display. The humans had just approved a new interspecies sporting event, low-G baseball, where alien players would use gravity compensation suits to compete against human teams in Earth's gravity. The marketing tagline made her laugh, where every pop fly is an adventure. Rodriguez sat in his office, reviewing the latest trade reports. Earth's gravity, once seen as a barrier to interstellar relations, had become an unexpected asset. Heavy manufacturing, high-pressure materials processing, and gravity-assisted technologies had become Earth's specialties in the galactic market. A familiar knock interrupted his thoughts. Come in, Tommy. The boy, now a teenager, entered with his usual boundless energy. Mr. Rodriguez, you'll never believe what I just invented. Something that's going to cause an interplanetary incident? No. Well, maybe. It's a gravity-adjusted version of dodgeball. Rodriguez put his head in his hands, already imagining the diplomatic implications. But he couldn't help smiling. In a galaxy full of advanced civilizations, leave it to a human kid to turn Earth's crushing gravity into a playground. Tell me more, he said, reaching for his comm unit. But let me alert the medical team first, and maybe the lawyers. As Tommy launched into his explanation, Rodriguez reflected on how much had changed since that first failed invasion. The aliens had come to conquer and found themselves conquered, not by Earth's weapons or defenses, but by its fundamental nature. And somehow, that had led to something better than victory. It had led to understanding, and occasional dodgeball tournaments, though they did still keep the water balloons locked up just in case. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all gravitational preferences, Ambassador Vrel addressed the packed auditorium of the Interstellar Sports Federation. It gives me great pleasure to announce the inaugural season of the Galactic Mixed Gravity League. The assembled crowd, a mixture of humans and aliens in various gravity compensation configurations, erupted in applause. Well, the humans applauded. The crystalline beings sparkled intensely, the gaseous representatives pulsed with different colors, and the energy-based lifeforms modulated their frequencies in what passed for enthusiasm. In the front row, Tommy Martinez, now the league's youngest commissioner at age 19, couldn't help but grin. His childhood games of tormenting gravity-challenged aliens had evolved into something far greater than anyone could have predicted. The physics are fascinating, Dr. Patel explained, gesturing at the holographic display showing the new sports arena. We've created discrete gravity zones within the playing field. Players can move between Earth normal gravity and lower gravitational fields, requiring them to constantly adjust their strategies. Rodriguez watched as the simulation demonstrated a mixed-species team, playing what looked like a cross between basketball, zero-G acrobatics, and quantum mechanics. And you're sure this is safe? Safer than your average human sports, she assured him. The gravity compensation suits have come a long way since the invasion. Plus, we've installed emergency stabilizers throughout the arena. No one's going to get crushed. Well, not literally anyway. The betting pools are going to be interesting, Rodriguez mused. How do you handicap a game where different species have different relationships with fundamental forces? That's why Tommy hired a team of quantum mathematicians and Vegas oddsmakers. The first official match of the Galactic Mixed Gravity League was between the Earth All-Stars and the Collective Cruisers. The humans had spent months training in variable gravity conditions, while the alien team had finally mastered the art of not immediately collapsing in Earth's gravity. "And there goes Martinez with the gravity shift," the announcer's voice boomed across the stadium. "He's transitioned from Earth normal to 0.3 G, using the momentum to, oh, beautiful assist to Carax, who's executing a perfect crystalline rotation in the low G zone." In the VIP box, General Thompson watched with a mixture of pride and bemusement. If someone had told me 11 years ago that our first alien invasion would lead to interspecies sports leagues, "You'd have had them psychologically evaluated," Ambassador Vrel finished, her antennae twitching with amusement. "Though I must admit, watching our species compete through athletics is far preferable to military conflict. Even if we still occasionally break out the water balloons during halftime shows. That was one time, and I maintain those players volunteered." Meanwhile, in the Galactic Trade Commission's research division, a team of human and alien scientists were making an unexpected breakthrough. "It's the gravity compensation technology," Dr. Patel explained to the board. "By studying how different species adapt to varying gravitational conditions, we've stumbled upon something revolutionary." She pulled up a complex diagram showing intersecting fields of force. "We can create stable microenvironments of customized gravity. Think about what this means for colonization, for medicine, for space travel." "For sports?" Tommy added from his seat at the board table. "Yes, Mr. Martinez, for sports too," Patel said with practiced patience. "But more importantly, we're learning that gravity isn't just a force to be overcome. It's a tool we can use. Different species have different gravitational needs, and now we can accommodate them all." The Martinez Gravity Training Center, formerly known as that field where Tommy threw rocks at aliens, had become Earth's premier facility for interspecies gravitational adaptation. Its motto, "Heavy is relative," was displayed in 27 different languages and 3 types of energy pulses. Rodriguez, now serving as the center's director of operations, was giving a tour to a group of potential investors. "As you can see, we've come a long way from simple compensation suits. Our facilities can simulate any gravitational condition found in inhabited space." "And the success rate?" asked a crystalline being floating in a personal gravity bubble. 97% of our graduates can function effectively in Earth gravity for extended periods. The other 3% at least manage to fall with style." The investors laughed, or their species equivalent thereof. "But the real breakthrough," Rodriguez continued, "has been in understanding each other. When you learn to move in someone else's gravity, you start to see the universe from their perspective, literally." In orbit, the latest addition to the International Space Station was nearing completion. The Gravity Research and Athletic Development Center, or GRADE. Its distinctive ring-shaped structure housed training facilities, research laboratories, and the most advanced gravity manipulation technology ever developed. "The design is genius," Zixtal explained to a group of engineering students. "By rotating different sections at different speeds, we can create a range of gravitational conditions. It's a perfect blend of old-school centrifugal force and new-school quantum gravity manipulation." "And the sports applications?" one student asked. "Let's just say the 0G water balloon leagues are going to be interesting." As Earth prepared to host the first Galactic Olympic Games, Ambassador Vrel found herself reflecting on how far they'd all come. The failed invasion that could have started an interstellar war had instead launched an era of unprecedented cooperation and innovation. "Still thinking about the invasion?" Tommy asked, finding her staring out at Earth from the orbital facility. "Hard not to," she admitted, "especially with the 10-year anniversary coming up." "Well, I've got something that might cheer you up." He handed her a data pad. "The opening ceremony plans. We're going to recreate the whole thing. The crash landings, the stumbling around, everything. But this time, it's a celebration." Vrel's antennae twitched with surprise. "You're not serious. Complete with ceremonial rock throwing and water balloons. Don't worry. All the participants are volunteers, and the gravity compensation suits are set to entertainment mode." Entertainment mode? They work perfectly fine, but they're programmed to be just unstable enough to be funny. Dr. Patel called it engineered slapstick. Vrel laughed, a sound she'd learned from humans. "You know, on my world, the ability to laugh at oneself is considered a sign of wisdom." "Really?" "No, but it sounds good, doesn't it? I've been taking lessons in human diplomatic speech." As they watched Earth rotate below them, a group of athletes, human and alien, passed by, heading to the training facilities. They moved with the easy grace of those who had learned to make gravity their ally rather than their enemy. "You know what the really funny thing is?" Tommy said. "None of this would have happened if your invasion had succeeded." "Indeed," Vrel agreed. "Sometimes the heaviest defeats lead to the lightest victories." That was terrible. I've been practicing human puns too. The future stretched out before them, heavy with possibility and light with promise. And somewhere, in a secure facility on Earth, a cache of water balloons waited patiently for the opening ceremonies. The opening ceremony of the first Galactic Olympic Games was proceeding exactly according to plan, which meant it was absolute chaos. Carefully choreographed, meticulously engineered chaos. "Incoming!" Tommy's voice echoed through the stadium as a formation of alien athletes in vintage invasion-era compensation suits performed a perfectly imperfect landing sequence. The crowd roared with laughter as the performers stumbled and wobbled in exaggerated fashion, their suits programmed to replicate the infamous mechanical failures of the original invasion force. In the VIP section, Ambassador Vrel watched with a mixture of pride and embarrassment as her species reenacted their greatest military blunder as an entertainment spectacle. "I still can't believe we approved this," she muttered to Rodriguez. "Look at it this way," he replied. "How many species can turn an attempted invasion into a cultural touchstone? This isn't just entertainment, it's diplomacy through interpretive dance. Very wobbly interpretive dance." Dr. Patel stood before the Galactic Scientific Council, her holographic presentation showing the latest breakthrough in gravity manipulation technology. The council chamber itself was a testament to how far things had come. Different sections maintained at different gravitational levels, allowing representatives from all species to attend comfortably. "The Gravity Sync network is ready for full implementation," she announced. "By linking our gravity manipulation systems across all participating worlds, we can create seamless transitions between different gravitational environments. No more compensation suits, no more isolated bubbles, just smooth adaptation to local conditions." A crystalline being sparkled inquisitively. "And the energy requirements?" "That's the beautiful part," Patel smiled. "We're not fighting gravity anymore. We're working with it. The system actually generates excess energy from the gravitational differentials. It's completely self-sustaining." "All because we tried to invade a heavy world without proper research," a member of the former invasion fleet noted, their antennae drooping slightly. "Sometimes the best discoveries come from our biggest mistakes," Patel replied diplomatically. "Though the water balloon videos did help secure our research funding." The Martinez Gravity Training Center had expanded to include an entire research university. The campus featured variable gravity zones, allowing students from across the galaxy to study in their native gravitational conditions while gradually adapting to others. Tommy, now serving as the university's youngest dean at age 25, was showing a group of potential students around the campus. "Our philosophy is simple," he explained, transitioning smoothly between gravity zones. "Understanding gravity means understanding perspective. When you learn to move in someone else's world, you learn to see through their eyes." A gaseous being pulsed questioningly. "Is it true that you once defeated an alien invasion force with rocks?" "That's a bit of an exaggeration," Tommy laughed. "I just helped them understand Earth's gravity in a very direct ballistic way. Now we use more sophisticated teaching methods." A water balloon sailed through the air, catching him squarely in the back of the head. "Most of the time," he added, turning to see his sister Angela giving him an innocent look from the low-gravity practice field. "I see you're demonstrating the advanced curriculum." In orbit, the GAR-AD facility had become the premier center for gravitational research and athletic training. Its rotating sections created a range of gravitational conditions, while its laboratories pushed the boundaries of what was possible with gravity manipulation. Zixtal, now the facility's chief of operations, was reviewing the latest data from the Gravity Sync network when an alert caught his attention. "That's interesting," he muttered, his antennae twitching with curiosity. "What is it?" Rodriguez asked, floating in the 0G section for his weekly adaptation training. "The network's picked up something unusual, a gravitational anomaly at the edge of explored space. It's like nothing we've seen before." "Hostile?" "No, just different. It's as if someone's already manipulating gravity out there, but using methods we haven't encountered." Rodriguez grinned. "You thinking what I'm thinking? That we should assemble a mixed-species research team and investigate? Absolutely not. The last time we rushed into an unknown gravitational situation, we ended up as social media celebrities." "Exactly. And look how well that turned out." The investigation team was assembled within a week. Humans for their natural adaptation to varying gravity. crystalline beings for their sensitivity to gravitational fields, gaseous entities for their ability to detect subtle environmental changes, and energy beings for their theoretical expertise. The ship they traveled in was a marvel of modern engineering, a vessel that could maintain multiple gravitational environments simultaneously while adapting to external conditions. They called it the GSV Heavy Expectations, a name that made Ambassador Vrel's antennae twitch every time she heard it. "Status report," Captain Rodriguez called out as they approached the anomaly. "Gravitational readings are off the scale," Dr. Patel replied from her station. "But not in any direction we're familiar with. It's as if gravity here works. Sideways." "Sideways gravity?" Tommy asked from his position as gravity systems specialist. "That's not possible." "Says the kid who used to throw rocks at aliens," his sister Angela reminded him. She had joined the mission as the team's adaptation specialist, though everyone suspected she just wanted to be first in line if they discovered new ways to defy gravity. "Speaking of impossible things," Zixtal interjected, "we're receiving a signal. It's... well, you should hear this." The ship's speakers crackled to life with a message that made everyone's various appendages twitch, sparkle, or pulse with surprise. "Welcome, gravity dancers. We've been watching your species learn to play with gravity. It's about time someone figured out it wasn't just about up and down. Would you like to learn some new steps?" The crew exchanged looks, or their species' equivalent thereof. "Well," Rodriguez said after a moment, "at least they didn't start by invading." "Yet," Vrel added, but her antennae were twitching with amusement. "Should we accept their invitation?" "Are you kidding?" Tommy grinned. "This is exactly how scientific breakthroughs happen. Someone does something impossible. Someone else says, 'Hold my water balloon,' and next thing you know, we're rewriting physics textbooks." "Just please," Vrel pleaded. "No recording devices this time. Some things don't need to become viral sensations across multiple dimensions." As the Heavy Expectations prepared to make first contact with these new gravity masters, its crew couldn't help but appreciate the irony. A failed invasion had led them to revolutionize their understanding of gravity, and now that very knowledge was leading them to new discoveries. The universe, it seemed, had a peculiar sense of humor, and a particular fondness for water balloons.